David Lynch started as a painter, but his desire to make his paintings move brought him to filmmaking. He devoted 4 years to making Eraserhead, and his dedication paid off. That success led to The Elephant Man, which earned Lynch his first of 2 Oscar nominations. With Blue Velvet, Wild at Heart, and Twin Peaks, Lynch found his place as America's most viable avant-garde filmmaker, one of the few artists whose name is used as an adjective. His new film, Lost Highway, is a mystery that is thoroughly Lynchian, and he is also being honored with a retrospective at the American Museum of the Moving Image, and I'm pleased to have him here at this table for a consideration of the films and his life. Welcome.
Thank you, Charlie.
It's great to have you here.
Good to be here.
Now, when people say Lynchian, what do they mean?
I haven't got a clue. I think when you're inside of it, you can't see it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know.
Yeah. When you think of those films that you have made, is there a common denominator for you? I mean, is there some sense of some space you're trying to explore, and each film is an exploration of that?
No. Each one I see is separate. I know there are things that tie them all together, but you start falling in love with ideas, and it starts forming a whole, and that's what you translate. And it feels like a brand new thing each time. Have
you, since '92, 5 years since you've made a film, been in search of an idea?
Yes. In '92, after Fire Walk with Me, which is a film I love, but I think you could safely say it did not
critics didn't
go over so well. But I'm hoping that someday people would take another look at that film. But there seemed to be a strange dark cloud hanging over me, and through '94 it was sort of, maybe in '94 it started lifting, and catching ideas is very tricky. It could happen tomorrow, or it could happen next week, or 5 years goes by. So you have to stay alert and watchful, but you never know when it's going to happen.
What was the dark cloud of the first 2 years?
A feeling in the air that sometimes you have green lights and you can do no wrong, and sometimes they start turning yellow and maybe even red, and that was the feeling.
So green light would have been after Blue Velvet, what, 86, 87, somewhere in there, and then Twin Peaks. That was a green light. You could do no wrong, and you were everybody's darling.
Yeah, Blue Velvet sort of kicked things in, and as you go up, you feel the upness is outside of you. You don't know exactly why. For some reason, people are taking you up. And the same way when you go down. You can't figure it, but it's happening.
Do your powers of creation feel strongest when you're going up? I mean, does it?
No, they're the same. It has nothing to do with it. Depression can stop the creative process. But when you feel very good about your work, which I did, except for Dune, but when you feel good about it, the channels are, open still.
Dune, you said you don't feel good about that. You're sorry you made that film.
No, I learned an awful lot, and I, love Dino De Laurentiis and Rafaela De Laurentiis and all the people that worked in the film, and many good things came out of it. But overall, I didn't make the film I think I should have made.
Well, what came out of it was, in a sense, lessons to avoid the next time you go out.
Exactly.
Like Final Cut. Don't give it up.
Exactly. So Dino gave me Final Cut for Blue Velvet, and away we went.
Right. When you were looking for ideas, what were you looking for? I mean, what is it that, is it something to fall in love with?
Yes, ideas. It's strange because the idea is not there, and then suddenly the idea comes into your conscious mind, and it comes in like an electrical spark, and it's known in an instant. And then the next thing that could happen is you could fall in love with that idea. It may just be a fragment, but it could have implications to a whole world. It could be such an idea that it just pulls you, you know, and you want to go there. And those are the things you're looking for.
What was the idea of Lost Highway?
Well, actually, part of it was the two words Lost Highway, which Barry Gifford had written in his book Night People. And for some reason, those words made me dream. It wasn't any story. It wasn't any, it was a possibility, and a dreamlike possibility. And then the last night of shooting Fire Walk with Me, I had a thing roll through my head, which was an idea, but sequences of ideas. And not controlling it one bit, it unfolded. And I held that until Barry and I got together and told him that, and he happened to like that, and the title and that idea was the starting point, and then you go from there. But a starting point focuses you in one area, and when you get focused, you become like a magnet, and you can together pull things out of like a doorway, and they come out and show themselves to you.
So if you find a starting point, then you can take the next step, and
yeah,
the next step, and the next
each step is easier.
After you find one place to plant your foot for the first time.
Exactly right.
And that's the idea that
starts the
cements
process.
the process
yes,
for you.
Exactly right.
Yeah. And is there a script in your mind by this time, or just a story you want to develop?
Well, in the very beginning, there's neither a script nor a story. There's fragments, and the fragments.
What was the fragment? I mean, other than the title "Lost Highway."
A couple receiving videotapes
at the doorway,
and they went more each tape, and a fear arose.
Yeah. It's the invasion of their.
Right. What does it mean?
Space.
Right. So. That is not a story. Some indications of some characters are there, but the fragments eventually hook themselves together and show you how they want to be arranged. Having
completed this film, what is it about?
That's Charlie. You know, it's a film is so many things, and you work for 2 years or more to get it to feel absolutely correct as you can make it. And then to translate 2 hours of an orchestrated thing into some words, especially when you don't have a gift for words, is you always fail. So I can't tell you.
All right. I'll tell a little bit of the story.
Okay.
Well, we'll tell the story. And there's a couple. Bill Pullman plays Fred. And his wife is played by Patricia Arquette, and all of a sudden videotapes there, and then Fred eventually, I don't know where to stop telling the story because we don't ruin the movie. Fred ends up in prison on death row, and then goes through an amazing change, and out comes another character, and Richard Pryor's in this film. And tell me about well, let me take this clip. This is a clip, first clip. This is where Robert Blake, you haven't seen him in a while, and he plays a fascinating character. And he approaches Bill Pullman, who plays Fred Madison, at a party. And here is what they talk about. Roll tape.
We've met before, haven't we?
I don't think so. Where was it you think we met?
At your house, don't you remember? As a matter of fact, I'm there right now.
That's crazy, man.
Call me. I told you I was here.
How'd you do that?
Ask me.
I'm not sure if I hadn't said Robert Blake, people would have seen Robert Blake at first glance.
Right.
Can you tell me about casting Robert Blake, Richard Pryor, Bill Pullman?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Well, since you started with Robert Blake, The talk shows have something to do with casting Richard Pryor and Robert Blake. I'd seen In Cold Blood. I admired Robert as an actor, but on I think the Carson show, I saw this very independent, strong-willed, one-of-a-kind people, and I had a lot of respect, for him, and always from then on, I've wanted to work with him. And the problem is, you have to get the right person for the right part. If the part isn't there, Robert doesn't come on board. So finally, the part was there, and I called Robert, and he came over, and we had a great talk. He's started acting when he was 3, as we know, and a million stories. Incredible character, Robert Blake. I wanted him to wear some teeth, but he said he couldn't put appliances in the mouth. He'd gag and become sick. So he came up with the ears. I wanted him to be pale, but then he did his ears and the hair, and
he became your character.
Just looked perfect. Yeah.
Richard Pryor.
I saw Richard Pryor on a talk show. I'd seen, like everybody else, all the things he's done, and but something came through. He's had such dark experiences in life, and came out the other side, and just had a greatness in him, and kind of a wisdom of life. And I just said, I want to know this person. I want to, love to work with him. And this came about. The part was small enough that he could do it. He's in a wheelchair, and said he wanted to do it. And
he wanted to do it.
He wanted to do it.
Yeah, he has MS, I think.
Right. And so we finished what we had to shoot, and then I got him in the office of Arnie's garage, where his character works. He owns it, and set up a premise, and he ad-libbed for 9 minutes on the telephone, which was unbelievable, brilliant stuff.
Robert Loggia.
Robert Loggia wanted to play Dennis Hopper's part in Blue Velvet, and came on a day we were testing an actress, and there were 2 people, a young guy to test for Kyle's part, and Robert Loggia to test with this actress for Dennis Hopper's part, or Frank Booth. And I didn't get to Robert. And when I went out to tell him, we had to shut down, he became very upset. And I never forgot how upset he got. And so it was sort of perfect that I saw the anger that he's sitting on, and it just made him perfect to play Mr. Eddie Dick Laurent.
Because you used Kyle a couple of times, should I assume you two are friends? And
we're friends,
and you wish you had a part in this film for him?
Always. You get to know people so well working with them, and form friendships, and see possibilities for other characters that they could play. It's just waiting for that part again. And, eventually, hopefully, it will come along for a lot of people I've worked with.
How do you feel about the film now that it's done?
I love it.
Okay. Rolling Stone has a picture of you, and this is what they say. Betrayal, sex, murder, deception, and 9 Inch Nails has to do with this guy. But in fact, this same writer says it's the best thing you've ever done. Do you think it's close to the best work you've done? Do you feel it's as good as you have done?
I don't think
measure it 1 versus 2, but
they're like children, and you can't really say that.
All right. Another clip here. This is Robert Loggia, who plays Mr. Eddie, and suspects that that Pete Dayton, played by Balthazar Getty, is the mechanic, is sleeping with his girlfriend, Loggia's girlfriend, Mr. Eddie's girlfriend. Roll tape. Here it is.
I'm leaving the caddy like I told you. Think you'll get a chance to give her the once-over today?
Sure. You want to pick it up later on, or in the morning?
If you think you can finish it, I'll be back later today.
It'll be done.
You're my man, Pete.
this magic moment, so different and so new, was like any other, until I met you, and then it happened. It took me by surprise. I knew that you felt it too.
Tell me what David Lynch saw in the scene we just saw. What was in the director's head?
That scene?
Yes.
But that's what was in my head.
The scene was in your head.
Well, when you get ideas, a picture forms, a mood forms, sounds come, and pretty much a feeling of a total thing appears. Then when you get into each element, more things can appear, but basically you know up front what you're going for based on the ideas.
Do you know who influenced you? I mean, people look at your work and they say Hitchcock. They look at your work and say others.
I think I love Hitchcock, and there's many people that I love, but influences for me have come more from places and things I've seen in these places.
Like
Philadelphia is maybe my biggest influence.
How so?
I was there at a time when the window was wide open, and what came in, when the window is open, things come in kind of, you're unprotected, and things hit you very powerfully. So what I saw, I've carried with me.
What hit you?
The wide range of human behavior.
Yeah. Twin Peaks was about small-town America. Blue Velvet is about small-town America. Lost Highway is about Los Angeles.
A portion of
Los Angeles.
It's a story appears again. The setting comes with it, and a setting says a lot of things that are difficult to say in words. It gives you a lot of information, and it gives you a mood. And there again, if you turn the camera a little bit to the left, it would be wrong. You'd see something that broke that. But
broke
the mood and made it incorrect. But you turn it right there, it's saying it's exactly feels right. And so all of your location scouting, everything is to find that feeling. And sometimes on location scouting, you can't find the thing that appeared in your head, so you find the closest thing, and then you work to make that even closer. Sometimes on location, you find new things that give you new ideas, and so that's part of the business of staying alert, because many things come in that affect the final thing all along the trip.
So place is an important stimulus for you.
Yeah, it's one of the elements, but every element is important.
When you're making the film, how kind of director are you? I mean, is it all sort of there and scripted and you adhere to this script, or are you a director who wants the actors to, in a sense, run with it?
Well, no. In the beginning, what you want is the actor to bring all their talent out in the correct way. So there's always a beginning. And in the beginning, you sit down and you start rehearsing a scene that may be a scene that illuminates that character the most, a good starting point scene, and you rehearse it. And no matter what it is, then you've started, and then you talk, and then you rehearse, and then you talk. And what you want is the person like Bill to lock into that same place you're locked into, and catch this thing, and from then on it all rolls out perfectly, or next door to perfectly.
You're on the same page, you're on the same vision, you're riding the same wave, you're doing all the metaphors you can find.
Exactly, but that's just a process of tuning in, and it happens with everybody on the crew to tune into this one, and then you move as one.
a couple of your actors are Dennis Hopper and Nicolas Cage. Here's what they said about you on this show. Roll tape.
Because he's really a Boy Scout, David Lynch.
Right,
He really is. He used to say, now this word here, when you say that word, okay, that word being the F word,
right.
you know, when you say that word, well, he wrote the script. I mean, David, do you know what it says or not?
Right.
You know, but so anyway, and he would say things when you did a take right, he'd go, peachy keen, solid gold.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie, yeah, right. So anyway, I said, the Boy Scout leader said, what is that? And I said, well, let me look at me, and I'll do a sense memory here and show you what an amyl nitrate or nitric oxide would look like, which is going to disorient your mind for about a minute or two, and like, you know, and so and give you this rush and so on. So he looked at that and said, oh, that's wonderful, wonderful, do that. And I said, then if you want to dub the voice in later, we can put that word voice in, but right now I'm just thinking about the voice and I can't act through it. He said, no, go ahead and do what you were doing. So I thought that was a great contribution to this film, which he had written and was directing, until I thought one day, I got alone just about a year ago, much later, I got alone and I thought, you know something, if I would have played this part the way David Lynch had originally intended it, by just having my voice go, baby wants to,
It would have been all over.
you know, I thought, wow, weird guy. This Frank Booth would have been even weirder than I thought, you know? So I don't know. Yeah.
How about David Lynch?
The same thing. And in fact, he is a jazz musician director. I mean, you never really know what you're going to do when you get to the set. You know, I remember one day he came to the set and he said, Nicholas, you're gonna sing opera today. And I said, well, what do you mean? He says, well, there's going to be a cotton ball under your bed, and I want you to have a bad dream and sing an opera song about the cotton ball. Just like that. And I said, well, okay, man, let's do it, you know, okay. And I had to come up with
an actor.
Right, come up with an opera song, and I didn't feel stupid about it. I mean, I felt like this. I mean, if it would work, it would be in the movie, you know, and he really believes that fun is essential. I mean, it sounds like a trite word, and it is a trite word, but you have to have fun, because if you're not having fun, the audience won't have fun. So his set, by the way, is very fun.
So what do you think of that?
Well, Dennis does a very bad impersonation, but Nicholas, they're both so great, and you can't say enough good things about both of them. But you know, it's part of what I was saying of getting to know an actor. You see something one day, and then you get an idea. And Nicholas is pretty much fearless, and giving him a challenge
to sing opera,
he just grabs it, and he goes all the way. So does Dennis, and I've been very lucky to have worked with the two of them.
Yeah, but you just told me as we were watching that conversation with Nicholas, it didn't make the film.
No, it didn't make the film, but sometimes that happens.
All right. There is a sense about you that you are prepared to go down the dark road.
I think I like the idea of going down in, and everybody is like that. Everybody is a detective. The unknown is a magnet, and you can learn many, many things by going down in there. And but it doesn't negate a bright road either. A film is made up of contrasts, and you know, knowledge and experience of combined opposites is sort of what it's all about.
Yeah, but the mystery is what turns you on.
Mysteries, we love mysteries. Life is filled with them. And some of them are very abstract.
And in all this, are you exploring your fears, your hopes, your dreams? I don't mean in dreams for a position or accomplishment, but just what wild things are happening inside your head?
That's a tough one. I think it's it has so much to do with love and cinema. The marriage of ideas with film. There comes this possibility in this world that you're going into to experiment and learn and experience. It's an experience that you're building.
Let me go back to, and let's talk a little bit about Eraserhead, your first film. I want to pick up on a lot of them here. Tell me about that.
Eraserhead?
Yeah, a long time ago. What was it, 19? Now, one thing we should say about Jack Nance was there, who died recently,
Right.
and someone you loved a lot.
Yeah, I've known Jack for 25 years. I met him late in '71, I believe. And a great human being, great actor, and I consider him one of my best friends. So, and he was in almost every film I've made, and it's going to be tough because here is a guy that gave me ideas for many, many characters. And I just think about him, and a character would, you know, almost would appear.
Roll tape. This is Eraserhead with Jack Nance.
Oh, you are sick.
As we were watching that and we went to the thermometer, which said 98.6, and you said completely normal. I mean, the whole idea was... Do you ever listen to Laserdisc now made by, and do what director's comments are on the film? Have you done that?
No, I haven't.
You know, it's
No.
fascinating to hear what the director, just the kind of thing we just saw is what you would have seen, you know, at one of the tracks. The next film I want to talk about is The Elephant Man. Here is where Mel Brooks gave you a shot.
You bet he did.
He saw something in Eraserhead he liked.
He did, and I mean, 100 people with money and who were producers could have seen Eraserhead, and all of them but Mel, I think, would have refused to meet with me.
Roll tape. Elephant Man, David Lynch nominated for Best Director for the Academy Award.
Right.
Here it is.
I am not an elephant. I am not an animal. I am a human being.
Mr. Trees, sir! They found him! I think they found John!
Elephant Man, did it signal anything for you in a sense of, I mean, a sense that, of confidence, a sense that, and I'm doing something that I know and like and enjoy and love, and I'm beginning to get my hands around it?
It was a blessed film, and how I came to be part of it was something. It's just the feeling of fate playing a part is there so strongly in that film, and you know, it's just a gift.
A gift that you had the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
Final cut.
Yeah. Well, Mel had final cut, but in effect he gave it to me, and Mel was very, very happy, very supportive. Mel Brooks is he's a complicated genius. He's, I think a lot of the great comedians must have a genius, you know, in them. Their knowledge of human behavior to make things funny. and the knowledge of human behavior is so great in Mel that he saw and appreciated this whole thing completely, and was very instrumental in how all the pieces were, put together, and like I said, was a huge supporter.
Have you ever wanted to make comedy?
Yes.
Can you do it?
I've made some attempts, but I'm very interested in humor. I'm interested in a humor that can sit next door to horror or fear or something more serious. And an out-and-out comedy, even though I've written them, I somehow keep myself from following through and doing it. And like they say, comedy is like mathematics. 2 and 2 make 4. This and this make a laugh. And you can't make a mistake. It's, I think for instance, the Academy Awards, they're the least likely to get nominated, but maybe the hardest thing to do is a comedy that works.
Mel Brooks is eloquent about how difficult, there's a great story about when his wife comes home one day and she talks about how bad it is at the office, and he walks over to where the typewriter is. He said, "This is a bad day."
Right. Right.
Blue Velvet. Before we go to the clip, you're fascinated, or you want us to say and know that in the most ordinary of places, there are incredible things going on behind closed curtains. That among the most normal appearing, there is wildness, obsession. What?
Always a doorway or curtains kick in the imagination, and they just do that. You begin to wonder what is on the other side of the door. What is going to happen when those curtains open? And it starts a process going. Everybody in the world, because we love mysteries and we're fascinated by all types of human behavior, we would love to float into rooms and observe, not to cause harm, but to learn more and to see how much the same or how different we are. And it's there's always the surface of things, but we sense many times more than what we see, and these sensing pull you in, and you want to know, and so there you go.
And the character of Frank Booth.
I think one time I was in a place and I saw this person that came in. It's hard to remember because Frank is probably several things maybe came together, but this one person I remember seeing might have been the seed for Frank. When I saw him doing Frank-like things.
What was it? What did he do, and what was it about him?
It was I think in the 70s at a place called Bob's Big Boy restaurant.
And you just saw him?
I think it's on Highland Avenue. Yeah, and I saw him, and there it was.
All right. Roll tape. Blue Velvet. Dennis Hopper.
Ooh, what's the matter? Oh, give him back. Oh, what's the matter? They're just a little red, that's all. Oh, let me feel them. Oh, come here.
Hey, leave her alone!
Oh, damn. Next! You out of the car! Get him out of the car, Raven!
Frank! Frank, he didn't mean
Shut up! Shut up!
Frank! Frank, leave him alone! Frank! Frank!
Dennis was perfect, I said during the, and you said.
Dennis is born to play Frank Booth. That's what he told me on the phone. We talked about Dennis, and as everybody knows, Dennis had some problems with drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, as Dennis frequently tells us.
Right. And so, even though I was thinking about Dennis, but I think his manager called up and said, you know, Dennis is you know, on the wagon, and he just finished a picture, and it went great. And so I began to open up, you know. But when Dennis called me, and he said, I have to play Frank Booth because I am Frank Booth, that, of course, did it. And no more truer words have never been spoken.
What comes out of your story is these amazing ways that actors end up in your films, not because of some performance. Dennis says, I am Frank Booth. Loja throws a fit because it's Dennis and not him, and you remember that next time out.
Right.
Do you have, what's your self-image of yourself? I mean, Dennis said, I mean, was it Dennis said Boy Scout? And they say you use these words like, oh, great and terrific and, you know.
You know, many people use oh, great and
yeah,
terrific.
I know it's true, but
we have, all of us.
That doesn't define Boy Scout, does it?
All of us have, again, our surface and our persona, the personality, rather, and the personality is almost like it sometimes you just wish it wasn't there because it's causing you to act in strange ways when underneath that is something else. And so we all have the feeling we meet somebody and we have our first impression, and little by little we see something else. And the more you get to know somebody, the deeper you go, and you realize that many things. That's the way Jack Nance was. Many depths and powerful thinking was going on inside this man.
Francis Bacon, I will see, if I went and looked at the paintings of Francis Bacon, would I see something there that reminded me of a David Lynch film, or vice versa?
Probably. You know, those paintings are about struggle, torture, horror, but maybe much more than that. There's something. Again, the initial image is one thing. But then something else comes through the paint, and it almost could be exalted. It could be a spiritual thing. It starts a process going, and but again, with Francis Bacon or any great painter, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. What it gives to the viewer with the dialogue between you and the painting is an awful lot more than what's there on the surface.
What are your fears?
Pretty much the regular, you know, fears.
Do you dream? Yeah.
I feel like I'm at the psychiatrist.
No, well, that's good.
Yeah, I dream, but I don't go by nighttime dreams. Nighttime dreams are, they're sometimes some good ones, but it's daydreams that I love. And sinking down, sitting comfortably in a chair, where you might be controlling some of the thoughts and directing yourself here or there, but at a certain point, the dream takes over, and you enter in a place where things are unraveling before you without your intervention. And many things can present themselves that way, and sometimes ideas that you fall in love with.
You've been in therapy?
One time.
One time?
Yeah.
What happened? I mean, you just decided that...
I've told this story before.
Oh, I haven't heard it.
No, it's okay. Well, I went in, you know, I had a reason, you know, for going in. And then I asked him straight out, right up front, could this process that we're going to go through affect creativity? And he said, David, I have to be honest with you, it could. And so then I had to shake his hand and
say goodbye. This is not for me.
Yeah, because it's a magical thing, and you don't want to know so much that would, you know, stop it from happening.
Do you understand creativity?
No. I understand the pleasure, joy of it, and I understand that it's a beautiful process to go. This, like any invention or anything, starts with an idea, and the idea then gets manifested in the material world. It's a beautiful process, and many internal rewards in the doing.
If David Lynch went back and looked at his own beginnings and wanting to be a painter and all that is part of your history, what would it tell us about David Lynch, the filmmaker?
If I want to go back?
If you went back and looked at your childhood and the shaping influences on you, would it be instructive about you and as a filmmaker?
I had to know. I think, you know, it doesn't matter where you are growing up. It has something to do with just sensing your environment and having the things triggered by the environment and your sensing. It could be anywhere, because the same things happen everywhere. As long as there's human beings and houses and trees, it will happen.
I'm thrilled to have you here. I really am, David.
Charlie,
this is a fascinating conversation for me.
Thanks a lot, Charlie.
Lost Highway is I don't want to say David Lynch is back, but he is. You know, I mean, you caught an idea, then you've made a film, and I suspect you feel very good about that.
I do, Charlie. Thanks a million for saying these kind words. Okay.
Thank you very much.
See ya.
We'll be right back, and we'll talk about Tibet with Bob Thurman. Stay with us. David Lynch is widely regarded to be America's premier avant-garde filmmaker. You need look no further than the following films: Lost Highway, Blue Velvet, Eraserhead, and The Elephant Man.
Why didn't you tell me you could read?
Right.
Oh, I see.
I was afraid to talk. Please forgive me.
Hit it. Yell at it.
Teresa was with the tea.
That's right.
You may think I'd gone insane, but I promise I will kill again.
I'll get it. Hello?
Meow, meow. It's me.
Hey, baby.
I can't see you tonight.
Okay.
I think he suspects something. We have to be careful. I miss you.
What do you faggots want?
Taylor Ripley. Luna loves you.
But I'm a robber and a manslaughterer, and I haven't had any parental guidance.
David Lynch's unique place in cinema continues with his latest film, The Straight Story. It has already been recognized by the National Board of Review as one of the year's 10 best films. I am pleased to have David back at this table. Welcome back.
Thank you, Charlie. It's good to be back.
Let's just talk about The Straight Story first and,
Sure.
and how it fits in sort of the evolution of a filmmaker. When did you tell me the story?
The story of how it happened, how I came to do it?
How you came to do the film.
Okay. In 1994, Alvin made this journey.
This is Alvin Strait.
Alvin Strait. And he traveled on his riding lawnmower to visit his brother.
Who was very ill.
Who was very ill. And the newspapers covered this story. Toward the end, people got, aware of it and started covering it. And Mary Sweeney read about it in the New York Times. She held this, desire for 4 years to want to, write the story and get it made. And I'm hearing about it. I live with Mary.
I know, I was going to say.
Yeah, I live with her, and every morning, every night, I'm hearing about the Straight Story.
Straight Story,
But
David.
she didn't get the rights for it until 1998.
Yeah.
So when she got the rights, she and her childhood friend, John Roach, sat down and wrote this script. They wrote it pretty fast. They took the whole journey. They went and interviewed many people, talked to the Strait family, and wrote a script that I think of all the scripts I've read, I've really only liked 4 scripts, and this is one of the 4. I loved this script. I didn't think that I would love it. And so once I read the script, I was there.
All right. Now, here's what's interesting about this. What are the other 3 scripts that you've loved?
Okay. I loved a script called Love in Vain about Robert Johnson.
Right.
Great script. I loved 2 scripts by a guy named Gregory Brooker, Spring of '61 and The Fall and Rise of Glenn. And those 3 I loved.
Yeah, and plus, and so then hit. Now, Mary wants you to direct it. She says, take a look at this and see if you're interested in directing it.
Right.
And but everybody notes, first of all, this is not like anything you've ever done before.
Right. It was curious. I'm reading the script and I'm feeling things. And I've always said that film is such a beautiful language. It can do abstractions. It can do abstractions, and abstractions are the combination of all these different elements that you have in a film. It can do an abstraction of emotion, and I felt this emotion coming from the script. And that's what that's what lit my fire.
The emotion of what?
The emotion coming from a scene, from a word, from a look. When you read something, we all have the experience, we picture it in our minds. And those pictures, those initial things, are what guide us from then on. And so as this thing, I was picturing it, at the same time, I'm feeling things, and I'm thinking, film can do this, and it could be beautiful.
You spent 21 days filming.
No, 31.
Okay, 31 days. All right, 10 more.
10 more.
In
that makes
Iowa.
a big difference.
You filmed it sequentially, too.
We had to film in sequence, yes.
Yeah. Richard Farnsworth. Was he the unanimous choice?
Oh, yeah.
Because he's brilliant in this.
Yeah. We're so lucky to have had Richard in this film. And everybody who's seen the film agrees that Richard is spectacular. I loved working with him. I think he's one of the all-time great actors. He doesn't consider himself an actor, which is kind of sad, but okay. He came about acting through, he was in the rodeo, then he was a stuntman, and then he came into acting. And he never really, because maybe he didn't study or he didn't do this or didn't do that, but the guy can make it real from way deep inside of him, and it's a beautiful thing to watch.
Do you consider yourself, in your heart, a painter or a director?
I'm both. That's what I am, both. I'm also a great guitar player.
Are you really?
Yeah.
How about cook?
No, I don't like cooking at all. No.
Don't like it at all?
No.
What else do you do well? You paint, you direct, you play the guitar.
No, I'm very interested in music. I'm not a guitar player. I play the guitar, but I am very interested in sound and music. I love working with Angelo Badalamenti.
He's done everything you've done since the 80s.
Since Blue Velvet, right.
Yeah.
And now I have my own studio, and the primary purpose of it was to be able to experiment, and that's a great thing to be able to do.
All right, let's take a look. Why is this man's journey, Alvin Straight, played by Richard Farnsworth, across Iowa to see his very sick brother on a tractor? Interesting.
It has to do with the reason he makes the trip, and it has to do with the difficulty of the trip, and it has to do with his age and the things in his heart.
That's what I'm saying. It has to do with what he feels and what he sees.
Right.
And how he feels about what he sees.
It's a beautiful reason to make the trip, and the trip has to be done in a certain way. And that's you know, what it's all about. And that comes through, you know, for me, and, you know, I think for others.
All right. Roll tape. Here it is, a scene with Alvin Straight, and when he's talking to his daughter, Rose, who's played by kind of an eccentric daughter, played by Sissy Spacek, about going to visit his brother Lyle. Here it is.
Rosie, I've got to go see Lyle. And I've got to make this trip on my own. I know you understand.
I guess so.
Look up at the sky, Rosie. The sky is sure full of stars tonight.
Man, if you don't like that, then, you know, you're not living on this planet.
Well, that's a beautiful scene, and Sissy did a spectacular job, as well as Richard, as well as everybody.
Why did you want Sissy?
I've always wanted to work with her. She's married to Jack Fisk, who's he's my oldest and best friend. So.
Is he a screenwriter or director? Or what is he?
He started out as a production designer, and he worked with Terry Malick and, you know, a bunch of people. And then he went into directing, and now he came back to production design. And so this is the first time we worked together, and first time I worked with Sissy, even though I've wanted to work with her, but you've got to get the right part lined up with the right person, and it happened this time.
Now, is Mary happy with what you did with her script?
I hope so, yeah.
Or else, you know, come home tonight.
Yeah, she's happy. She's also the editor, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and that's in fact what her profession is, right?
Right. Yeah, but she's producer now and editor and now a writer. So she's taking over.
Now, having done this, was it difficult for you? Because it's not the kind of thing you had been used to doing? There was Blue Velvet, this is a long way from Blue Velvet.
It's not difficult. Every film is difficult in a way, but it's so much fun. And the story dictates everything. And so once you fall in love and those pictures form and you stay true to those early feelings, true to the story, you go. It's the same as every film. I know it's different than most of my other work, but the way it goes is the same.
And it wasn't any more difficult to do because you're dealing with capturing the emotion of, was it easier?
No, it wasn't easier. In some ways, it was more difficult. This thing about emotion, you know, it's an intuitive thing. The film talks to you, and the story talks to you, and so it's a little bit action and reaction. You know, you're experimenting as you go to get the thing to feel correct. And how come it has to feel correct to me? And so you work and work until it does feel correct. And on this, there were fewer elements going along in the sequences, and so each one became more important. And I start getting, you know, real fascinated about the way a sound would present itself, how it would come up out of nothing and go, and how it would die away. Those things became real critical, the way things appeared and disappeared.
Some will argue that restraint can heighten the emotional effect.
It's too little is not so good. Too much is not so good. It's that magic point when all the lights go off like a pinball machine, and you know you're there, but you don't know exactly how you got there.
All right, roll tape. This is one final scene, because I think Richard Farnsworth is so great in this, in which he talks about the importance of family.
When my kids were real little, I used to play a game with them. I'd give each one of them a stick, and one for each one of them. And I'd say, you break that. Of course, they could, real easy. Then I'd say, tie them sticks in a bundle, try to break that. Of course, they couldn't. Then I'd say, that bundle, that's family.
Put this in the context of things you have done. How do you feel about it? Is it just part of the evolution of one man's?
I feel very good about it. It's a film that I think it's out there right now, and it's holding its own, and apparently it has very good word of mouth. And I'm just hoping that it can hold out there, and that people will go experience it on the big screen. Mm-hmm. I think in time it will have a very good reputation, this particular film.
Any longing within you to make peace with something?
Yeah, maybe myself.
Yourself?
Yeah.
You're at war with yourself, or are you trying to understand yourself, or are you on a journey to understand contradictory impulses? Or?
Exactly, yeah, to figure it out. Yeah. It's a mystery.
Is this simply a case of a gifted filmmaker seeing a script he loved? Or can you make more of the fact that you're doing this film in terms of the cycles and the evolution of the life, of a creative artist's life?
I have said that I think first you read a script or a book, or you get ideas, and you begin to fall in love, and at the same time you feel a thing in the air. And the thing in the air is always changing. And something about the thing in the air verifies your love, or you kind of goes against it. And in this case, it went, with it, the thing in the air. And so it felt correct to go forward.
What's the thing in the air?
I don't know what it is. It might be, in Germany, they say it's a zeitgeist.
Yeah,
they told me that name for it. And I don't know if that is. This thing that is always changing, and it's a product, I think, of every one of us. And since we're always, moving about and changing and going forward, this thing is always changing, and it tells you something.
Okay, the question I'm really asking: does this fact that David Lynch, at this point in his life, is making this film, beyond the fact that it was a script he liked, say something? I mean, here David Mamet's making The Winslow Boy.
I don't know.
Wim Wenders is making Luna Vista Club.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
It's a great documentary.
Yeah, it's a great one. Yeah.
So, I mean, you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. I don't think it says so much about me. I think people do feel this thing in the air, and it might alter our thinking a hair. You don't know what you're going to fall in. The most important thing is what you fall in love with. And the reason you fall in love is an abstraction. Nobody knows why they fall in love with this woman and not this one.
Yeah, or why they fall out of love.
Or why they fall out. Well, they know that a lot of times.
Yes, they do. But so, and you can't figure it out. In other words, you can't sit here and say to me, I can tell you what was in the air. It was this, this, and this.
No, you can't.
It's a
beautiful abstraction.
Beautiful abstraction. It's a kind of a psychic thing. What kind of paintings are you painting now?
I'm painting with glue. I like texture.
Right.
And oil paint is very expensive. So I found this tile cement that's not so toxic, but you can get a 5-gallon tub of it for pretty cheap. It's really sticky. But if I paint outside and a little bit later the sun starts cooking it and it becomes less and less sticky, and then if I mix paint in with it, sometimes I set it on fire. They're glue paintings. Yeah. And they're organic, and I try to get nature to work with me on the things.
Yeah, do you paint out on top of your house? Is that where your studio is?
Yes, it is.
You just go up there in the sunlight and paint.
Exactly right.
Now, why do you paint outside?
Well, because there's a lot of toxic things involved with the work.
See, so you got to be outside so that nobody gets sick.
And I like the way the sunlight it works on it. It cooks it. In California, it gets sometimes very hot.
But what are you painting with this glue?
I'm painting a series of this character, Bob, and his, particular concerns, I guess.
Yeah. Speaking of Bob, just tell me the story about when you were going to Bob's Big Boy in Los Angeles.
You've got a fixation.
Yes, I do. Because I love
you. Love chocolate. You like chocolate milkshakes?
No. I like vanilla milkshake.
Vanilla milkshakes.
Yeah, you like chocolate.
I like chocolate. Yeah.
But what else would you eat with this?
Just
milkshake?
a coffee.
Oh, but
coffee.
You had all this sugar in the coffee.
Yeah, I had sugar.
Now, what was going on there? Was it was giving you a high that made you think clearly?
Yeah, but I didn't. It is like a drug, I suppose.
Sugar can be.
Yeah, because it revs you up. And but I went, as you know, at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yes.
Because they pour a liquid into these machines, and it has to have time to get cold to become thick.
Right.
During lunch, there's a turnover, and so they're always kind of thin. But after the lunch settles down, before the thing gets too old in the machine, it has time to congeal and get nice and thick. And you got a chance for getting a great shake.
But you gave it up.
Yeah, I gave it up.
And you gave up all the sugar or saccharin or whatever it is you use in the coffee, too.
Sugar. But I gave it up. One time I went through the garbage behind Bob's, and I found the carton of the mixture. And I couldn't make sense of any of the ingredients. And I figured it was enough time of having had those, and I should stop.
What's in the air for you now in terms of the movies? So what are you eating at first? Tell me what you're eating.
I'm eating, for lunch, tomatoes, tuna fish, feta cheese, and olive oil.
Now, here's what's interesting about you. You eat that every day.
Every day.
Every day. You eat the same thing.
Yeah, it's very good.
Well, I'm sure it is. Otherwise, we wouldn't eat it every day.
Right, exactly.
And what do we eat for dinner?
Chicken, little pieces of chicken and broccoli, and a little soy sauce.
Every day?
Yeah, every day, except when I travel. Then I go off that.
Is this? Can we say you're a creature of habit?
Yes, habit in a daily routine.
Yeah.
And then when there's some sort of order there, then you're free to mentally go off any place. You've got a safe sort of foundation and a place to spring off from.
Yeah. And you view that in terms of the creative process as very important.
It's very important for me.
For you?
Yeah.
Right. You don't like a cluttered room when you're thinking.
No. The purer the environment, the more fantastic the interior world can be, it seems to me.
Yeah. Can you help me understand where you may be going now that you've done this film? What's in the air?
In the air, I think things are, like, as they say, they're always changing. Yeah. I think right now the air is filled with Y2K. And maybe in January it'll settle down and we'll see what's really there. But
we got to get through Y2K
we got to get through
first.
This thing. It's a very busy kind of thing in the air now. Yeah. But I don't know what I'll fall in love with. That's for sure. I don't have the next thing.
Yeah, and falling in love is really what it's about.
It's all about that, yeah.
You'd rather tell a long story than make a movie.
No, I love both the things.
Okay, you do
very
both.
much. It's just a continuing story allows you so many different surprises, and you're not having to wrap things up, and you can have one thing lead to this thing, and then come back to relate to something that was introduced way back here, and those things are thrilling for us.
Is Dune the worst mistake was that?
That wasn't a mistake. I learned a lot, and It was a little bit, maybe more than a little. I sold out. I didn't have final cut, and I knew the way people were, and I adjusted. And you really can't do that.
No. Two things you got to know.
Yeah.
Final cut.
I know that. I learned that, Charlie.
And owning your own thing.
Yeah, I haven't learned that.
But
one
we'll
yet.
get there too.
Yeah.
All the things you have made, I realize it's a silly question, but give me. What are you most proud of?
They're, you know, they say they're all like children. Yeah, yeah. Right. So I like every film, but there always is the feeling, since nothing's ever perfect, something makes you want to go again. And there's something about this beautiful language, you just think it can do something that would be so thrilling to the soul. And so you're looking for a story that allows for modern cinema, beautiful feelings, and all in one story. And so you just it keeps pulling you.
Woody Allen once said, if you really want to understand the 60s, you got to see what was going on in the 50s that led to the 60s.
For sure.
Elvis being one.
Exactly.
And the Beatles,
always you look before. Like a lot of times
by that.
People make a film that's set in the 50s.
Right.
Now. You know,
right.
You know, so they go and they find 50s furniture and put it in the house and make the film. When in reality, if you went in somebody's house in the 50s, you'd see furniture from the 30s, 20s,
right, exactly.
40s. Hardly any people had the 50s stuff.
Do you know which generation, at what period you'd like to live in if you did live in this one?
In the 50s. 56, yeah. Somewhere 56. Around. I'd like to live to 56, yeah.
Why 56?
I don't know. The birth of rock and roll was very powerful. And there was a feeling in the air then that I liked. I was a child, so that makes it. I wasn't seeing the whole picture. But in my little world, I felt a real, positive thing happening.
Yeah. Even in Missoula?
No, I was in Boise, Idaho.
Oh, in Boise by then.
Yeah, by then, yeah.
There are those also who look at Blue Velvet, and was it Wild at Heart? I've forgotten the title. Was it Wild?
Wild at Heart.
Wild at Heart.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, there is a man with some weird ideas about sex.
Mm-hmm. Well, everybody knows that any avenue has their extremes, one way, and there's most in the middle, a balance. Wild at Heart was all about an extreme, a crazy world, crazy activities, things just coming apart. That was really in the air. When I finished reading Barry Gifford's book, it married itself with this insanity sort of that was in the air. Things were kind of flying apart. And I love the idea of a love story in the middle of an insane world. So everything was kind of out. And but Sailor and Lula were very much equal, one to another, the man and the woman. He respected her, she respected him. I liked that in the middle of this crazy modern, thing. But they were with each other. They knew what they wanted, and they were together.
Dennis Hopper influenced Blue Velvet by his sheer intensity and performance for you.
Mm-hmm.
Did he not?
Oh, sure. Yeah, somebody else, I mean, he was born to play. He admitted it. He said, I am Frank.
That's what he said. You once told me the story.
Yeah.
Didn't he call you up and
called me up
and said, I'm Frank?
That was good news and bad news, yeah.
What was the bad news?
The bad news was I had to work with this guy. In my mind, I'm thinking,
Oh, you were saying. How often have you fell in love with your actresses in your film?
Oh, man, you're getting personal. I fall in love with them all because they're...
Because work and love and all that is part of who you are.
Yeah, I've worked with some great, people, and work brings you, close, and it's a special thing. And there's actors and actresses. That's a very tough life, and when they're going, it's very delicate, and things have to be nice, for them.
Things have to be nice for them.
Yeah, they have to feel safe, and so they can leave themselves and take on another thing and make it real. Yeah. And the ones I've worked with, they've been very great.
So are you.
In doing that.
So are you. Straight Story is a wonderful, wonderful film, deserving of all the accolades that it's receiving, and Mary Sweeney deserves enormous credit.
She does.
For
She does. Yeah.
writing the screenplay and playing the role that she played, and seeing that this film made it to
the screen.
Yeah, and Richard Farnsworth and Sissy Spacek and so many people. I mean, it just shows me the power of storytelling, the power of sort of basic sense of one man driven by a reason in his own heart to go, as he said in that first scene, I've got to go. Forget anything else. I've got to go.
Exactly, Charlie.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
It was
as
good
always.
to see you again.
Thank you.
Really good.
Me too.
Okay.
Me too. David Lynch, the director. The film is called The Straight Story. We'll be right back. Stay with us.